3 shot. Come on, carry on.
1.
Come on, love it.
1, 2, 3.
All right, and again. Elbows in. Now this is when you're going to mess your brain up. Turn southpaw. You're going to do it again.
Okay.
Yeah?
So, boom, boom. Ah! Boom.
That's it. So basically, your mind has got to think the same way on the left side than it does on the right side. So that's one of the things you've got to take into account. Never mind the size of the gloves.
Yeah.
But the size of gloves does make a difference because these boys have been training probably 14, 16 or 12 ounce gloves. Last time they fought, they fought in 12 ounce gloves. Now they're professionals.
Yeah.
They're in 10 ounce gloves. Now I know what it's like, but most fighters, they don't actually even train in 10 ounce gloves. Yeah. It's not until you're in the dressing room and you put the gloves on. So let's see how smooth these feel and how crisp these feel. Yeah. They'll probably use gloves like this, you probably not.
Because obviously, I'd train in 16s only. And the first time I felt 12 ounces was on fight night.
Exactly.
In my fight.
Exactly. And all of a sudden, so everything's different. You've got a crowd there watching you. You've got your head guard on. Yeah. You've got the pressure. And everything's uncomfortable and different. Yeah. So this is going to be very different because now you've not got the protection of gloves you used to hit the bags with. Now this is like proper. You're going to get hurt. You're going to inflict pain and know you're going to get hit as well. Yeah. So that combination I gave you, give me again. Yeah.
So boom, boom, boom.
Faster. 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 As fast as you can. And again. Beautiful. But what I'm saying is, so you're getting the flow going on. So can you imagine? Now there's no head guards. Yeah. There's no 12 ounce gloves. They're in 10 ounce gloves. You've got the speed. You've got the combinations. Yeah. You've got the accuracy. That's the difference because your hands are a little bit lighter. Your hands are up there all of a sudden. It'll feel foreign at first because it's something they're not used to. Yeah. But then once they're used to it, it's the first person to get used to it. Yeah. And midway through the fight, so we're talking 6 rounds, 6 3-minute rounds. Most fighters, when it gets around probably 4, 5, they start feeling gassed. Logan felt gassed after
2 rounds. Yeah.
2 rounds, right? So if he'd have got through that, it's just because mentally he'd be in the gym like 2, 3 hours each time. Yeah. But all of a sudden it's mental pressure. It's your second wind. Yeah. So when you hit that wall, it's pushing through it. So he's got to mentally get over that. He knows what he's capable of doing in the gym. But when it comes to fighting and the pressure's on, no matter how cool he is, it's going to happen.
Do you think that's something that you can overcome? Because for me, when I did my driving test, when I do football matches, the boxing fight I always had that, I've always had the adrenaline that sets in days before and it just won't go. No matter what I do, I can't calm it down. So over your career, did you ever have it where you were able to overcome that completely?
So that's the difference. So you'll get novices coming in, and when they first do it, they'll think, yes, I can do this. Then all of a sudden, when they hit that second win, that wall, they'll think they're not fit enough. Some walk away, some mentally will never get over it. You will get over it, but someone just needs to explain to you what it is. It's nervous energy, but nerves are good. Yeah. I used to mistake nerves for fear. Yeah. So when I had that nervous energy, I actually thought I was scared. I'd be trying to hold, I'd be trying to run and everything. But actually, once I got over it, I thought, nerves are good. All right. You relax with it and you play with it. Yeah. You time yourself. You think, all right, second wind's coming here. Bam, bam. You relax round 2, round 3, round 4. Then step it up round 5. Yeah. So again, give me that combination. I'm trying to. Bap, bap, bap. And again.
Bap. No, wait. Bap, bap, bap.
Southpaw turn.
Bap, bap, bap.
That's it. Beautiful.
Bap, bap, bap.
It's not as flowing as easy, is it?
Bap, bap.
And again, come on.
Bap, bap, bap.
And again, come on.
Bap.
So what I'm saying is that feels nice and loose. Yeah. I'll put these gloves on me. Yep. Now box at cruiserweight. Okay. So when you've got 10 ounce gloves on, plus bandages, these things feel like mittens. Feel like, look at that. Yeah. And there's a difference. You've got some gloves, some raised gloves.
I'm sorry. Wait. Quickly hold your hands up. They are massive. And whenever wait, look at this. Look at this. When I filmed with Anthony Joshua, it was the same. When he clenched his fist, put it next to my head, it was the same size. So is it from boxing that your knuckles get bigger?
Of course. And you'll have a weak knuckle, and that weak knuckle will get knocked up, and it'll go watery and soft. So for about 3 or 4 months, the council will form around it. The hand will be solid. Yeah. And what I'm saying is, when you've got these gloves on, especially if there's not enough padding there, and you're punching with these gloves, especially when these boys get in the ring. In 10 ounce gloves, they are going to feel every single shot to the body, to the chin, to the neck, to the shoulder. Yeah. And so it makes you start thinking differently. because that's a kind of pressure you just don't want.
Yeah.
And it's going to be one of the things that they're going to find out. And my bet is the only time they see some 10-ounce gloves is when in the dressing room.
Yeah.
Just before the fight.
Yeah, because I mean that's what KSI's trainer came out and said. We're not going to do any training with 10-ounce gloves, no head guard.
Crazy.
And I think that's mad. Like the first time that they're going to experience that is on the stage.
Yeah.
Like, do you not recommend at all, like in training, like giving it at least a go once?
Absolutely crazy, because I'll tell you what will happen. He'll put these 10-ounce gloves on. He's got no head guard on. All of a sudden, he's going to feel like Bambi. Oh my God, he's on it. Then all this energy is going to be gone 1 or 2 rounds, because he's thinking, oh my God, this is brilliant.
Yeah.
3 rounds, he'll be like, he should be working at least fight week, at least 2 weeks before. He should have his 10-ounce gloves on. He should be hitting the bags at least without any head guard on. Put himself in a position where all the things he'd wear for the fight. So when that bell goes, he's comfortable in feeling uncomfortable.
Yeah.
These are experiences you've got to go through. Every fighter's got to go through it. These guys are novices on a big stage. Yeah. So they've got enough to contend with. The back and forth between themselves. Will he, won't he? The possibility of losing, the pressure of the crowd shouting you, getting in the place. Yeah. These guys can't walk anywhere without getting rushed. Yeah. You don't want to have to be worried about this. But this can make or break any fighter from when the bell goes.
100%. And obviously, like, the beginning of your career obviously didn't start how you wanted it to.
Right.
So, how did you deal with that? And how, like, with, like you say, everything to do with fight week, the pressure, the extra stuff you're having to do aside from just fighting. Like, how did you cope with that?
Well, what you do is, to get wisdom, you've got to go through experiences, good and bad. Unfortunately, like these guys here, because they've had no former experience, they are going to be judged on everything they do publicly. And so I had to learn on the job. I had 13 amateur fights. I only won 3. I won 3 because I mistook nerves for fear. So when I was nervous, I thought I was scared, so I held back, I ran, and I did everything possible not to get hurt. And still carried on doing it, stupid me. My first 3 professional fights, I lost, but I was learning on the job. So they've got to be strong enough to ignore the pressures and the criticism of everybody, even people like me, even people like the naysayers, they've got to ignore that, and they've got to be prepared to go through it and think, right, this is my job, this is my focus. They can do that, then that's half the battle won. Yeah. And it's just having to learn on the job. They've got to have done everything possible in the gym to mimic what's going to happen Saturday night. Yeah. And if they don't, that little foreign thing that they haven't done is going to be massive. Yeah.
So for you, obviously, what would you say is more important? The fact of, like, being able to perform in front of a crowd, or, getting the extra hours in perfecting your craft? Because obviously you look at KSI, he's been on a music tour for like a lot of this year.
Crazy.
You think while Logan's been doing extra hours training.
So both of those, you need both of those. You can't play boxing.
Yeah.
Because you play boxing, you get hit, you get hurt.
Yeah.
It's not like you're gonna, I'm just gonna have a rest. You play boxing, you get hit and get hurt. You've got to concentrate. You've got to neglect so many things in life that are comfortable. So if he's been on a music tour, there's no way he's been able to commit himself to training probably twice a day, doing his diet right, getting his head right, watching little videos just to get the feel of it. And even in the gym, if you're in the gym over and over and over again, when I threw that combination for you, eventually it became so natural, a little smile came on your face to say, oh my God, I've got this. Yeah. So that's what boxing's like. You've got to live in the gym. So everything's natural. Footwork, moving, slipping, throwing a jab. Yeah. It's got to be like walking, talking. If you think about walking, we don't walk like that. You know what I mean? But you do it naturally. Naturally, you don't even think about it. And that's what boxing's supposed to be. Yeah. If you can get to a stage where you're in the ring and everything you do is natural.
Second nature sort of thing. Yeah.
Nervous energy is going to be nothing.
Yeah, because that's the thing we saw in the last fight. Obviously, KSI attempted to do a game plan and not dive in or anything, but it got 2 rounds in. He felt like he was losing, and
pressure.
Yeah, he just made it a fight. He was swinging from the hip. It was like nothing pretty at all. And I'm just worried that without having the years and years of ingraining it into your brain, how are they not just going to revert to what they've always done? Do you know what I mean?
So from what I'm hearing, stuff happening in the background, I hear Logan Paul is the one that's concentrating on what's happening inside the gym. If you're too busy being famous, being a celebrity, instead of getting on with the job, you are going to pay for that when the bell goes. You will do everything you've learned for 1 or 2 rounds, then you will go back to form when you're tired and desperate. It's human nature, it's instinct.
Yeah.
You're going to do what you do naturally. And so you're going to be influenced by the pressure of the crowd. You're going to be influenced by getting a big shot. It's going to make all the difference. It's the one who can stay cool, calm, and keep it together is the one that will come out on top.
Yeah. What did you do in the ring just before you'd walk out? When you were, getting your gloves on, getting dressed?
Yeah.
What, is there anything
So
special you do?
mine was I had to be the last person out of the dressing room.
Okay.
I folded up all my clothes in a certain way. This was my way to think I am not getting knocked out because I want to remember everything. Because when you get knocked out, you can't remember just for a few minutes. Put my clothes in. I was the last person out. Silly thing is I put an invisible suit of armor on. Right, I've done this. And my trainer be like, Johnny, come on. I'm like, done it. I put it in. I'd look round so nobody was behind me in the dressing room. I'd shut the door. I'm fight ready. Yeah. I had to be the last person out. I took a photographic memory of my dressing room. I put my invisible suit of armor on. It's stupid, but it worked for me.
Yeah.
It worked for me. Everybody's got something stupid they do. That's mine.
Yeah.
But and my trainer said, Johnny, we ready? Let's do it.
Yeah. Because it's funny, like, you were saying about the nervous energy and nerves and mistaking that for being scared. Well, obviously I had that before my fight. And what I decided to do is put on like calming relaxation music and try and just like meditate. But I felt what that did to me is sort of made me placid. I tried to get rid of the nerves and reject them, and it made me just go more just like soft and like not ready to fight.
Yeah.
Like you say, putting that armor on, it's a psychological thing to get you ready for war.
Yeah.
And I feel like, that's something that I just really didn't do. And would you say that you almost need to be a certain type of person to be able to go to war?
So I was joking with one of the cameramen earlier on. He put the gloves on.
Yeah.
And I looked at him. I could see him like doing a bit of shadow boxing, thinking, he's looking. I said, that's a close, because boxing is very addictable.
Yeah.
You'll put the gloves on, and then there was a little voice in the background saying, stay away from the light. Stay away from, and obviously you're thinking, oh my God, I love this. Oh, I want to fight.
Yeah,
and obviously you suck it in. And then, so everybody gets to that point until they get hit in the face.
Yeah.
If you can get past that point, because it's very funny being smashed in the face.
Yeah.
So if you can accept that and think, all right, we're good, you are then hooked. You are hooked. You boxed before, and I said to you, would you do it again? And I'm thinking, you know what? And when you're telling me about your prep and everything, I thought, let me train you. I'm telling you now, you would fight again. You would fight again. You needed somebody that would encourage you, let you understand what you're doing, let you understand your body, let you understand what mental strength you have. I'm telling you now, you could do this again, and you will right all the wrongs from the past, and you think, wow, I should have done it like this. Even putting the calm music on, I said, no, man, crank it up. Crank it up. You know what I mean? Get some Buff Daddy on or something like that. Crank it up. I'd have you in the dressing room enjoying yourself thinking, and you would find calm throughout chaos. And that's what these guys have got to do. But this is an experience fighters eventually develop as their career goes on. And that's when you see the finished article of someone in his dressing room, he's been through many, many things where his knees are knocking, he's thinking, oh my God, do I want to do this? I'm telling you now, you can be that person again. And these boys are going to learn a harsh lesson if they've not prepared right.
Yeah, 100%. Do you think, obviously what we saw with Anthony Joshua, maybe not taking Ruiz as seriously, the fact that can happen on such a professional level, do you think that does happen frequently?
Without a doubt.
And do you think it is possible to get away with it?
You can get away with it for so long, but eventually as you go up in levels, if you make one mistake, you tick every box, right? That didn't work, this didn't work, that didn't right, I won't do that next time. So you've got everything covered. And if you just miss one of those out, then what could happen to Anthony Joshua happened to Anthony Joshua. He's not, but remember, Anthony Joshua is still relatively a novice.
Yeah.
He's been boxing for just under 11 years.
Yeah.
I was boxing like 25, 30 years.
Yeah.
So you've got to go through a lot of mistakes, bad experiences to figure out where you are. And these guys here, they've got to understand they're still raw novices and their careers are back to front. They have their fame, they have the adulation, they have everything, they have the pressure and the eyes on them. They just haven't got the experience. So you've got two novices that have got the world at their feet. Yeah. And so therefore they're going to be judged in everything they say, do and how they act.
So like obviously hearing you a pro, you've been there, you've seen it all. Obviously, a lot of YouTube fans that aren't big, boxing experts, look at what KSI and Logan are saying, and we believe every word. I'm going to produce the best knockout you've ever seen. They're so believable. What do you think listening to them talk like this?
Them saying it right now they believe it.
Yeah.
And because what happens is when you're fighting somebody, you eat them, you dream them, you sleep them, you think nothing but them. Yeah. Everybody around you, when they see you, like, what are you going to do when you fight KSI? So you can't get away from it. You're consumed by that person. So therefore, they're the most important person to you, more than your girlfriend, your mum, your dad, whatever, because you're obsessed with that person. So whatever you're saying now, you truly believe it because you're so obsessed. But once it's done and dusted, it's like, oh, all right, it's over now. I'm over that. You remember when you boxed KSI? You remember that bad feeling that was between the two of you?
100%.
You remember how you felt? Now you guys are cool.
Yeah.
You understand? But you would have never imagined that before that fight. Yeah. And that's the difference. So when you're so intent, so focused on somebody, no matter what anybody says or does, you can't get them out of your head. So it doesn't matter if these guys are raw novices or seasoned professionals. It's human nature. It's instinct.
Do you think you have to hate the person or convince yourself that you hate them in order to do damage?
Hate makes you weak. Hate makes you weak. If you can relax and stay focused, stick to your game plan, you've won every day of the week. That's why my job would be to get you angry. So if I get you angry, if you ever had an argument, you can't even speak straight. You trip over your words or you swear, you spit, you slather because your mind's jungled up. Yeah. So my job is to get in your head so you hate me. So if I get you to hate me, you don't want to throw 15 jabs this round and left hook. You think, I just want to smash him. Yeah. So that's it. Your game plan's out the window. Yeah. Then your gas is going. Then I've got you. So my job is to get you to hate me. But if I can stay cool, you can stay cool, job's done. Yeah.
That's mad because obviously seeing, this time round, Logan is still trying those mind games, trying to, make KSI hate him, whereas KSI's done nothing this time. Last time he made a song about Logan, dissing him. He was, insulting his family, everything, and he's done nothing this time. And I actually feel like that was a big thing that worked for KSI, the fact that he got inside Logan's head. And, you've obviously seen how they were in the public workout. Do you see any, who might be on top?
Well, in the public workout, Shannon Briggs had to get himself involved just to try and wind up KSI, wind up his boys. Because Logan was so far, getting so into it, Shannon thought, you need to back off some, calm down. Let me try and stir him up. Yeah. But KSI was actually very cool with it. And his corner, man, so Shannon Briggs wasn't attacking KSI, he was attacking his boys behind him. Kind of a move, an old school move. So if you think your opponent is too mentally strong for you to get in his brain, put it on his trainer, put it on one of his boys, because instinctively he's going to want to protect his boys. Then you've drawn him in again. Do you understand what he's doing? He's drawing him in again. So they were trying to get into his head to make him angry, so he just rushes into him. That's what they want. That's what they want KSI to do, to rush him, to make a mistake and get angry, because they'll have trained and trained and trained and trained. The problem is, has Logan Paul got the stamina and the cool when the pressure's on? Let's see how he's after round 3. Yeah. Let's see how he's after round 4. If it gets that far, remember they're in 10-ounce gloves, no head guard, big difference. Yeah.
And that's the thing. I do feel like Logan's not going to want it to go very long. The big muscles, Shannon Briggs in his corner. But my worry is if he starts searching for that early knockout, do you think that's what's going to make him most vulnerable?
Yeah, without a doubt. If you go for the knockout, you never get it. Yeah. You never go hunting for that knockout. Just box naturally. Go for speed. Speed creates power. And then that's what if you go for power, you'll get tired in a heartbeat. You're like, tense you go for speed, bam, 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 bam. You're still throwing the same energy, but with speed. But if you go for power, you're like, after a while, you're gassing out. Yeah. So, and that's what he's got. He's got to go for speed.
Because that was one of the first things when I was obviously starting out. My trainer would just, he'd go at me, but he'd just do loads of little tippy-tappy punches. But each one would just it's blink, blink, blink. It's, and then he'd be able to come through with the big one. Whereas I would be so tensed up.
You were tired.
I'd look for the big ones. Right. And it was mental. That was a big eye-opener.
But because he got you mentally before the fight. Yeah. He got you mentally before the fight. So mentally, you were so tight. You so wanted to smash him. Yeah. You were blown up after 1 or 2 rounds. So the whole point is relax. Relax. That's where your speed is. If you think punch from there, boom, you can bam, 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 throw millions out. Yeah. But if you're every time after a while, you're going to be shattered. It's just little tricks of the trade. But unfortunately, these boys haven't had enough experience yet to know those tricks. Yeah. And it's about the commitment. Are they doing it as a one-off? Or are they really just thinking, you know, I can make a career of this. Because if they want to make a career of this, they've got to neglect the career they already have.
Yeah, you can't have anything on the side.
That's what I'm saying. So you've got to think how much you want it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Do you think it is like actually possible, the fact that they've only started, you know, a couple of years ago, that if they really wanted to, one of these guys or both of them could make it as a professional?
You can do anything as you've got to want it enough.
Yeah.
You've got to want it enough. They've got careers outside, you know, that are very lucrative. That's put them up there. So they've got to think, do I want to put that on hold and become a fighter that trains for 6 months to get to do 6 3-minute rounds, and the return isn't great at the moment, but if I make it to the top, I can be a big superstar. But you've got to step in the background for about 3 or 4 or 5 years. Are they prepared to do that?
Yeah.
Is that hunger there?
Well, that's the thing. Like, that's what blows like a lot of our minds. You know, these are multi-millionaires. You know, they don't need to fight. A lot of people, you know, see boxing and they use it as a way to make a better life for themselves. And these guys are already at the top. You know, they're young. They're like early 20s, and they've already got millions. So, you know,
their motivation is personal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They want to be.
Yeah.
They want to be number one, and I think that's what's like captivated so many of us, is the fact that these guys are two huge personalities that do want to be number one. How often, like, is that common in the boxing world nowadays, do you think?
So you'll get some fighters that make history in our sport. Floyd Mayweather, Muhammad Ali, Jack Johnson. We can go on and on and on. Yeah. And once they get to a certain level and become champion, most average fighters, their dream is to be British champion, European champion, world champion. But once they've climbed that mountain and got there, their motivation is gone. They're no longer in that hunter mentality, and that haunted mentality. So they can't sum up the energy to get up at stupid o'clock in the morning and go for a run in the rain. They can't sum up the energy to train 3 or 4 times a day. So all of a sudden their performances drop because that drive to get to the top of the mountain, they've reached it.
Yeah.
So then you've got unbelievable fighters that make history in our sport. They're the ones that have been champions, that have made masses of money, but still fight like hungry fighters and put on amazing performances. Floyd Mayweather for one of them, Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier. You can go back in history. These guys are very special. They are natural fighters, instinctive fighters. These guys here, KSI Logan Paul, these guys are millionaires. This is about ego. It's not about having a career as a fighter. It's about ego. Yeah. And once they've checked that, once they're driven by their ego with each other, then I want to see how hungry they are after this to carry on doing this. Yeah,
because I mean, you know, you look at it whether, is it to do with boxing, or is it just, you know, whatever these guys go against each other in, they just want to be number one. Do you know what I mean? Because that's what I think, you know, it heavily comes down to. And yeah, I want to know, like, do you think moving forward, you'd like to see more YouTubers come into the boxing world?
As long as they stay in their lane, yeah. As long as they stay in their lane, yes, stay in your lane, man. Because you stay in your lane, you're fighting guys of the same ability as you.
Yeah.
But if you all of a sudden think, you know what, my britches are a bit bigger now, I want to fight somebody that's had 20 fights that's got successful, you're going to get checked and people are going to think, you've been found wanting. Stay in your lane, you get it done. But if you're prepared to put in the work, there's no reason why you can't be like any other professional fighter coming through the ranks. But it's a case, again, it's how much you want it. Anybody can achieve anything. Yeah. It depends on how much you want it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it blows my mind. Like, now, I mean, the biggest thing that I want to know as well, you know, I know a lot of opinions of, you know, different YouTubers, people that don't know too much about boxing. But I want to know, how do you think this fight is going to go?
Wow. I like both guys. Yeah. I think KSI has done an amazing job in regards to inventing himself, but I actually think common sense tells me to look at Logan Paul. He has the height, he has the reach, he looks in better condition now, and the stuff I'm hearing behind the scenes in regards to KSI, how he's prepped for this, isn't great. So therefore I'm thinking, how serious have you taken this? Yeah. Have you taken you off the ball? Do you think you're bigger than the game itself? Because now you've got somebody that's really trained for this, that's really trained for you. He's naturally bigger. He looks in brilliant shape. So we want to see, and he's got Shannon Briggs working with him. Shannon's not going to waste his time on any fool. So in my opinion, I think Logan will probably put a good old whooping on KSI.
Yeah, because something big that we keep hearing is obviously, you know, the Mayweathers training with KSI, these big, you know, Shannon Briggs. But, you know, how lonely really is the sport of boxing? You know, you could have all the team that you want, but it's you that does the fighting.
Boxing is my old trainer used to say, boxing is a dirty, rotten, prostituting game. At its worst, at its best, it's the greatest sport in the world.
Yeah.
But it's very lonely. It's very lonely at the bottom, at the top. And when you step through the ropes and that bell goes, bye-bye to your mates. It's you on your own. So when you get hit, only you get hit, not we get hit. When you lose, only you lose, not we lose. When you win, we've won.
Yeah.
So and that's it's so fickle. But you've got to love it. You've got to. I say stay away from the light. Once you're addicted to it,
that's the
people
thing,
will never understand why you do it. There's people that are going to be watching this thinking, why? Why would you want to get in the ring and get hit in the head? Why would you do that? Of course, but once you got the bug, your motivation is either money, ego, or hatred.
Yeah.
I think these boys, it's about ego.
Yeah, 100%. I'm looking forward to it. You know, KSI versus Logan, November 9th. I can't wait. Let's smash it.
Let's get it
Thank
on.
you, man.
Nice one, brother.
Cheers.
Let's get the combinations going. Easy.